Hi, this is Adam from Great Neck Library. So I know that Wednesday is now day 3 of homeschooling. A lot of people are going to be looking for some new ideas, new things to do. So this is a lesson on 3D design. It's going to be on how to 3D design a Lego brick. So if you have a Tinkercad account, great, you're good to go. If not, you can access Tinkercad for free. So you go to tinkercad.com and just sign up and create an account. After you create an account, it will log you into a page that looks like the one that you see on my screen now. This is the one we use for all the projects at the library. From here, you would click on Create New Design. And at that point, you'll see what's called the work plane on your screen. So the Lego brick is a great project to work on because it utilizes a lot of the basic functions of Tinkercad. Once you understand these functions, you can go on and work on a lot of your own creative designs. So the first thing you're going to want to do is click on a box and go ahead and drag it onto your build plane. You can resize the box multiple ways. You can do it manually, you can do it um, by typing in the numbers. That's what I prefer to do. So if you see right here, I can go ahead and click on here, and I'm going to change the dimensions to 31.8, and then I click over in here where it says 20 to 15.8, and I'm going to make the height. So to get to the height, I need to grab that third dot up there, right? So if I rotate my view and I'm looking right at my shape, you can see the height better. So I click over here and I change it from 20 to 9.6. Now, if you're curious, the unit that we're working in, it says millimeters that we're working in. So when I'm saying 31.8, it's actually 31.8 millimeters. 9.6 millimeters is the height. So now we have our box, right? I'm going to go ahead and drag another box onto the work plane, and I'm going to resize this one. All right, so this is going to be 28.9 by 12.9. I'll just move it over here so you could see. So got switched up a little bit. 28.9, 12.9, and a height of 8.6. Oh, not 8.8, 8.6. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and just double check the dimensions. 28.9, good. And I'm going to rotate my view here so I could see the side. Check that. 12.9, good. And then my height, 8.6. Now, if you follow my mouse over here, I'm going to this little house in the left corner, home view. So now I've manipulated my view using the right mouse button. I've switched the way that I'm looking at the work plane. I can go ahead and click on home view, and I'm back to the original view. You can also see that I have the smaller rectangle selected. When you look up here, it says solid and whole. So I'm going to go ahead and click on whole. And when I click on whole, the box becomes transparent. You can do that for any shape that you work with from the toolbar. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and hold down the left mouse button and just drag this red dotted box over both of my shapes. And now you'll see that it says Shapes 2 in this corner where my mouse is. That identifies for me that I have both shapes selected. Now, if you just follow the mouse, you'll see now that I'm hovering over what is the Align tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Align tool, and it shows me 9 dots. So in 3D design, we're working with 3 dimensions. So that means that I can align along the y-axis, the x-axis, and the z-axis, which is for our height. Here we're going to worry about the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm going to click on this middle dot, and then I'm going to click on this middle dot. Then the next thing that I need to do is go up over here, and you see this little icon that looks like a circle with a square or a triangle coming out of it. I click on that, and that groups the two shapes into one. And I can just use my right mouse button, take a look underneath, and see that the hole was cut out from the larger rectangle. So this gives me the first component of my Lego brick. The next thing I'm going to have to do is come over to here where it says Basic Shapes. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down until I find the tube. I'm going to drag the tube onto the work plane and resize this as well. Tube is going to be 6.4, and again that's millimeters, by 6.4 with a height of 8.6 millimeters. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I have my tube shape selected. And I'm going to go, you can follow again the mouse. I'm going up to the left-hand corner of the screen. I'm going to click on Duplicate. When I click Duplicate, you see the shape blinked, but you don't see a second shape, and that's because they're stacked on top of each other. I need to move that shape over 8 millimeters, so I'm going to use my right arrow button on the keyboard to do that. So I'm going to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to hit Duplicate again, and this time it should move it for me automatically. Let's see if it does it. Yeah. All right. So these cylinders are each, or tubes, are each an individual shape. I'm going to put a little box around them, and it shows shapes 3. I'm going to group that so that they become 1. So now you see 3 tubes, but I can move it as one shape. Then I'm going to go ahead and left click, drag this box around the rectangle and the tubes, and you'll see that it says shapes 2. So even though you see shapes 4, the 3 tubes are being read as one shape. I'm going to go ahead and click on Align, and I'm going to center again along the y-axis and the x-axis, and I'm going to group them. Again, that's this button up here, the circle with the square triangle coming out of it. And I use my right mouse button to rotate my view, and you can see the beginning of a Lego coming together. Now I want to get back to the original view, so I go over to the little home view button, click it, and I'm back to the home view. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go over to the right side of my screen. I'm going to click on work plane, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to drop it right on top of the rectangle, or the brick at this point. And my screen turns orange. This means that I'm working right on top of that Lego brick that we've started. So the last thing the Lego brick needs are studs. We're going to use tubes to create those. I'm sorry, not tubes, cylinders. So go ahead and click the cylinder, drag it onto the work plane, and we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to move it so you can see the whole thing. Going to change the dimensions to 4.84 millimeters by 4.84 millimeters, and the height is going to be 1.8 millimeters. So that gives us our first stud. Altogether, we're going to need 8 for this brick. There are a couple ways to do this. All right, so the first thing though, I know that I'm clicked on it, right? All those other numbers were just showing me how far I moved it. I don't need to see them. So I deselected and reselected it. I go back up to the upper left corner. I hit duplicate. And I'm going to hit up 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a box around these. I have 2 shapes. I'm going to group them. So now when I duplicate those 2 shapes, I'll have 4. And I'm going to hit to the right 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put a box around these, showing shapes too because I had already grouped part of it. I'm going to group this. So you're looking at 4 studs there, but it's only showing as one shape. When I duplicate this, it's actually going to give me, I'll have 8 studs in total. And I'm going to want to move this 16 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Drag a box over all of the studs, group them. So now all 8 of these will move as one shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag a box over the studs in the brick. So even though you see 8 studs in one brick, it does not say shapes 9, it says shapes 2 because the studs have all been grouped into one shape. I'm going to go back and click on the align feature. I'm going to align on the y-axis, on the x-axis, and I'm going to go ahead and group this. Before I take a look at it and inspect it, I'm going to go back onto the right side of my screen, click on work plane, and I'm going to drag it anywhere except on top of my shape. Screen is back to blue. Can take a look at this, and I have a completed Lego brick. If you have any questions, just shoot them in the comments, and we'll get back to answering you. There's a lot of steps covered in this. Slow down if you need to, pause, take breaks. But again, if you have any questions, reach out to us in the comments and we'll get back to you. All right, I hope this helps and we have more content coming your way.